In the menacing silence of Greenland, life begins where few would dare to tread, perched on limestone cliffs soaring high into the freezing mist. Standing 120 meters above the ground, these stone towers are a fortress for the vulnerable, protecting them from the world below. On these narrow ledges, space is a luxury and safety is an illusion. For the barnacle goose, this is the only home they know. A new life emerges into the biting wind. This tiny gosling is born into a world of extremes, where every breath is a struggle. With only a thin layer of down to protect it, the newborn shivers. It has no idea of the trial that awaits very soon. The mother provides warmth and comfort for now, but she knows the harsh truth. This high fortress is also a prison without food. There is no grass here, no insects to eat. To survive, the family must reach the valley floor. But there is only one way. Just hours old, the gosling must find its strength. Its very first steps will be the most important it ever takes in life. The scale of nature here is overwhelming. A tiny speck of life against a mountain of stone, waiting for the signal to move. What does a creature so small think when it looks into the void? Instinct is the only guide it has in this vertical world. The mother's call is a mixture of love and command. She is preparing them for a leap that defies every law of logic. As the sun rises, the deadline approaches. Time is running out, and hunger is beginning to set in for the small family. Gravity is the master of this realm. It is the judge, the jury, and for many, the executioner of those who fail the jump. One look down is enough to paralyze any heart. But staying here means certain death by starvation in the cold Arctic heights. The leap of faith begins with the parents. They show the way, but they cannot carry their children down through the thin air. Now the choice is theirs. To stay is to die slowly. To jump is to face the ultimate test of survival and grit. A heart no bigger than a nut beats with a fury of adrenaline. Every fiber of its being screams against the coming fall. From the valley floor, the parents call out. Their cries are a lifeline of encouragement, echoing through the cold mountain air. They must learn to fly before they even have feathers. It is an evolutionary gamble that has been played for thousands of years. The siblings share a final moment of hesitation. In this race for life, they are competitors and companions at the same time. The reflection of hope is mirrored in its eyes. The lush green grass represents a future that is currently out of reach. There is no turning back now. The point of no return is just a few millimeters away under those tiny, fragile feet. Against the vastness of the Greenland wilderness, the gosling is a tiny pioneer about to embark on its most dangerous journey. The wind is both an enemy and a potential ally. It can cushion the fall or dash the small body against the rocks. The mother's anxiety is palpable. She has done all she can, and now she must watch the brutal laws of nature take over. A false start, a moment of doubt. The survival instinct is a powerful force that fights against the necessity of the jump. Farewell to the fortress. The security of the ledge is gone, replaced by the hunger that drives all living things toward the unknown. The abyss stares back. In this moment, time seems to freeze, hanging by a thread as thin as a single downy feather. Nature does not wait for readiness. The environment is a harsh teacher, demanding a decision before the courage is even fully formed. This is it, the leap that will define its existence. A jump into the void, where gravity becomes the only judge of life. But gravity is not the only threat. At the base of the mountain, a hungry opportunist waits for a fallen meal. The Arctic fox has a keen sense of timing. It knows that today is the day the sky will bring a feast. Patient and calculating, the predator understands the rules of the game. It is a harvester of the cliff's many tragic failures. Every step is silent, every movement purposeful. The fox is a ghost in the landscape, waiting for the descent to begin. Evolution has given the gosling a secret weapon. Their bones are soft and their bodies light, designed to survive the unthinkable. The layer of down is more than just insulation. It is a primitive airbag, ready to soften the blows of a violent descent. The predator is nearly invisible. It is the final obstacle in a marathon of survival that has only just begun for the chicks. For the fox, this is the cycle of life. One creature's struggle for survival is another's chance to live through the winter. The landing zone is a jagged field of stone. There is no soft place to fall, only the hard reality of the mountain's edge. Sensory overload. The fox hears the change in the air. The first movement has been made, and the dinner bell is ringing. Above, a desperate leap. Below, a hungry mouth. Between them lies 120 meters of sheer, unforgiving vertical space. The cold doesn't bother the fox. Hunger is a much stronger motivator. It is a master of the long game in the Arctic. Survival of the fittest is about to be tested in its most raw form. Every participant must give everything they have to win. It is a long way down. For a creature that cannot yet fly, it is a journey through the heart of danger itself. The wait is over. The first player has entered the arena of the air. The dance of death and life begins right now. Falling. It is not flight, but a total surrender to the pull of the earth. The gosling is now a passenger of gravity. In the first few seconds, there is only chaos. The small body spins out of control, a tiny speck in the massive sky. 10 seconds. That is all the time it takes to bridge the gap between the nest and the ground. Every second counts. The first impact is brutal. The gosling bounces like a ball, its flexible skeleton absorbing a shock that would kill anything else. The world is a blur of gray stone and blue sky. There's no time for fear, only the mechanical process of falling. Another hit. Each collision is a gamble. The mountain is trying to break the life that is daring to descend its walls. The ground rushes up with a terminal velocity. This is the perspective of a survivor who has no choice but to face the end. It enters the talus slope. Here the fall turns into a slide, a violent journey through a river of sharp sliding stones. One last impact. The journey of 120 meters ends with a final, heavy thud against the cold Arctic earth. Silence falls over the valley. The chick lies still, a tiny ball of fluff that has just endured the impossible trial of nature. The mother is there in an instant. Her calls are a mixture of desperation and hope, searching for a sign of life in the dust. Behind it, another sibling follows. The cliff is a conveyor belt of life and death, testing the entire brood in rapid succession. The predator moves in. It sees the opportunity. In the Arctic, a motionless animal is simply a gift that hasn't been claimed yet. Then, a miracle. A blink. The spark of life is not so easily extinguished by the mountain's heavy hand of gravity. It shakes off the trauma. The flexible bones have done their job, protecting the internal organs from the devastating force of the fall. On its feet once more. The first hurdle is over, but the second is already charging across the tundra with hungry eyes. The fox is fast. It has lived through many seasons by being quicker than its prey. The race for survival has truly begun. Parental sacrifice. The mother puts herself between the jaws and her child, using every trick to buy the gosling a few seconds. Run! The instinct to flee is the only thing that matters now. The gosling's legs find a rhythm it never knew it had. The fox is relentless. It bypasses the adult, knowing the smaller target is the easier prize. The gap is closing rapidly now. Each step on the soft grass is a victory. But the victory is hollow if it doesn't reach the safety of the water. A true chase. The camera captures the raw terror and the incredible will to live that drives this tiny creature forward against all odds. Every bit of terrain is a tactical advantage. A small dip in the land can mean the difference between life and a predator's meal. The fox is an athlete of the tundra. It regains its sight of the prey and lunges, its jaws just inches from the target. Aerial reinforcement arrives. The father goose uses the power of flight to strike back, a desperate defense against a superior ground foe. The finish line is in sight. The water is the one place the fox cannot follow effectively. It is the ultimate sanctuary for geese. The final jump, not from a cliff, but into the embrace of the river. A splash that signals the end of the nightmare. Safety at last. The water is deep, and the gosling is a natural swimmer. The fox can only watch as its dinner swims away. The predator has lost this round. In the Arctic, failure is common, and the fox must move on to find another chance elsewhere. The family is reunited. Against all mathematical probability, this tiny life has survived the fall and the chase to see another day. A moment of peace. The adrenaline begins to fade, replaced by the simple, driving need for the first meal of its life. The reward for the jump is here. Fresh grass, nutrient-rich and abundant. The reason for the dangerous journey is finally within reach. Every bite is a celebration of life. The nourishment will fuel the growth that will one day turn these stubs into powerful wings. Looking back, the mountain seems like a dream, but the scars and the missing feathers are reminders of the price of admission. The first day of life comes to an end. It has been more eventful than many creatures' entire lives. A day of destiny. Under the Arctic twilight, they find rest. The struggle for survival never truly ends, but for tonight, they have won the battle. Sleep comes easily to the brave. The gosling has proven its worth to the world, passing the most brutal test nature can offer. This is the story of life in the high north, a cycle of extreme risk and extreme reward, played out on the edge of the world. The bond between parent and child is the foundation of this survival. It is the invisible force that guides the leap from the cliff. The heavens dance over the theater of life. The cliffs stand silent, waiting for the next generation to face their own vertical challenge. Each survivor carries the legacy of millions of years of evolution. They are the winners of a high-stakes game that never stops. Nature is neither cruel nor kind. It is simply indifferent. But within that indifference, we find the most incredible stories of courage. To live is to be brave. To grow is to overcome. This gosling is no longer just a chick. It is a survivor. Life finds a way, even in the most vertical and hostile places on Earth. The journey from the cliff is just the beginning. For those who dare to fall, the reward is the world. A lesson in instinct and unconditional love from the heart of the wild.